Turning a page, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we try and see if we can ignite the love of the written word in your hearts. It's an honor to have the wonderful Kamal Shah with us. Kamal, of course, has an absolutely incredible story to tell, but all we can do, of course, is bask in the reflected glory. I could tell you about what I've read in the book Silver Lining, what I've read on the internet, but it's the emotion behind the words that's more important to us. So, Kamal, thank you very much for joining us. First and foremost, tell us a little about the book and where it's coming from.
Thanks so much, Sarthak, for having me here. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you having me here. So I think Silver Lining is simply the story of my entire journey from a dialysis patient to an entrepreneur, where we set up India's largest dialysis network. So Silver Lining takes the reader right through that journey, right from my initial diagnosis when I was supposed to be going off to the US for my master's, but then there was a health related incident because of which I had to get onto dialysis, and the whole journey of settling down on dialysis, getting a transplant which didn't work, and then how I had various setbacks in my life with related to my health, and then I overcame each one of them, and then finally went on to set up Nephroplus, which is India's largest dialysis service provider. So Silver Lining takes the reader through that entire journey. The first half is about how I dealt with kidney disease. And then the second part talks about the entire Nephroplus journey, about how we made patient centricity the core concept, the USP, so to speak, of the book, of the company. The Nephroplus, we made it a very patient centric company, and kind of was very appropriate because I was the co-founder and I was a dialysis patient myself. So that's how the book came about, Sarthak.
Quite literally walking the talk in that sense. There's
Absolutely, yeah.
it's absolutely incredible that the written word can still express so many emotions. So was the book always on your mind once you had sort of embarked on this journey of hope, or did that come up after you had sort of decided that there was the organization, there was the health problems to be taken care of? When did the seed of the book start?
So, the for folks who've been following me, I have a blog that's fairly popular among kidney disease circles, among nephrology circles in India and abroad. And that blog I started, sometime in 2007, 6 or 7, and that blog was fairly popular. If you would look up dialysis in India, it would come up number one on Google. And then Nephroplus happened, and it was a very compelling story of a dialysis patient setting up, a dialysis company. So a lot of people kept telling me that, you're already writing a blog, you write so well, why don't you write a book and describe your journey? It'll be inspirational for a lot of people who are dealing with personal setbacks, not only dialysis patients, but even other setbacks, So people kept egging me, and then the pandemic happened, and then we had some time on our hands, and then, I kind of just took advantage of that time and then started writing the book about 3 years ago.
Kamal, we're living in a cynical world where if you try and do something for others, the first thing that happens is the furrowed brow and the raised eyebrow. So, have you had to face a little bit of cynicism, saying that, oh, you're trying to profit from pain and all of that? Something that we increasingly hear. Did you have to face that?
Oh yes, a lot actually. And one gem that I recall, as you mentioned, that is that congratulations, sir, you turned a disease into a business. That was quite below the belt, I would say. But no, honestly, I think I do get that a bit. But on the other hand, there are a lot of people who actually appreciate that based on my experiences. The way we've turned Nephroplus into a chain of dialysis centers that provides very good quality dialysis. And the difference that we bring is that we believe that dialysis patients can lead completely normal lives, and that's kind of stems from my own journey, where I lead a completely normal life despite being on dialysis for the last 26 years. So, and here I am running a business. So I think the message that we give through our centers to our patients is that dialysis does not mean the end of life, right? You can lead a completely normal life. You can lead a life that you want to, that you would love to, completely normal. You can work, you can travel, you can have fun, you can go out for a movie with friends, you can marry, you can have kids, you can do everything that a healthy individual does. And I think that difference was possible only because the patient was a co-founder, right? Because that's the perspective that I bring, and I have lived such a life, and Nephroplus through me would love to get all our patients to lead completely normal lives. So that angle has kind of, become the overarching theme of Nephroplus, so to speak, and the while once in a way you do get these kind of jabs, I think by and large people have been extremely supportive.
Kamal, there's one is of course the practice of the arts, which is of course of writing, but there's also the responsibility of the art, where I think especially in something where you're sharing your pain in that way, you know it, do you feel that these are two separate things and need to be taken care of? The way you express what you express is also a responsibility, and especially in a subject like you've written, it is a bigger responsibility.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it is, what you're saying does make sense to some extent. But at the end of the day, I think, pain is something that can be overcome in this case, and it can lead you on to do much greater things than, what you would ever achieve. Now, if you look at the book title, right, Silver Lining. Now, if you look at how the whole diagnosis and all happened in my case and the various setbacks I've had, I think the important message, the important takeaway is to how people can actually overcome those setbacks, and I think there's a larger message as well for not only dialysis patients or people with a health related setback. It's a larger message for the general public, right? People who could be facing setbacks other than health, and
Sure.
I think that is the important takeaway. While I do understand the aspect around, the pain and the health problems, I think the takeaway is much larger than just merely pain or, health related.
As you said, it is about the step ahead of pain, where there is a little bit of a field of hope to walk through as well, isn't it?
Absolutely, and that is something that, is there in all our lives. Like a lot of people, they kind of give up, but people need to realize that they don't need to. It is not something that they can get defeated by. It is something that they can actually emerge victorious over, and like, like I've done, people can actually go and change others lives as well. It's something that can become a much wider triumph over this kind of a setback, like kidney disease or whatever it could be.
We're living in the world of social media, so it's only proper that we ask you to do a little bit of a listicle for us. 3 to 5 points that you'd like to tell those who want to write about their experiences.
Yeah, I think make writing a habit. It's very easy for some people to start and, give up in the middle. But I think if you set yourself a target of, let's say, 1 page a day or 1,000 words a day or something like that, you get into a cadence. Like link it to something that you're already doing. Like, let's say some people have a habit of drinking a morning cup of tea or coffee. Link it to that, and then, make it a routine that says that immediately after I have my tea or coffee in the morning, I'm going to write 1 page. So that cadence is very important, where, you make it a habit, and then it's something that becomes a part of your routine. Second is pick a topic that you're passionate about. It's very easy for some people to pick topics that, while they may be experts, they may not get excited about it, and then writing becomes a chore, like something that it becomes very laborious, something that you need to put an effort. Writing should honestly come effortlessly. It should be something that you enjoy doing, and then I think third thing is to get a good editor. The role of an editor cannot be emphasized enough, because that once you're through with the manuscript, get a few people first of all close to you to go through it, but then eventually you will need the services of a professional editor, because they know, they should be brutally honest with you. They should be able to tell you that this is junk, you just need to chop this off, or, you need to elaborate this a little more.
For
And
sure.
so the role of an editor is absolutely important. And then I think the last point I would say is that writing the book is only half the job done. 50% of the effort, believe me, is marketing the book and getting the word out there, because India is, and rest of the world as well, is flooded with books these days. And for people to notice you and, pick up your book, it needs that effort from you as the author of the book to actually do it. very few people are not, nobody else is going to do it for you. You have to do it yourself.
That's important. And that's not just about a book, but about most things. It's true. You have to do it yourself. And
Absolutely.
for having fought the good fight and having told us about this, we'd like to thank you very much, Kamal, for your time and for the book Silver Lining.
Thank you so much, Sarthak, for having me here. Thank you so much.
94.3 Radio 1.